The information in this podcast is for educational purposes only. You should consult your doctor, specialist, or physical trainer for advice on your physical wellness goals before you plan to follow any of the suggestions or recommendations in this podcast.
Hello.
Hola.
Marhaba.
Welcome to the
Astro About Wellness podcast. Join me, Syazana Sani, and the Astro duo,
Asfar Azman
And Azima Azman.
your host from
New York.
Let's strive to educate, regenerate, and elevate family institutions through optimal productivity and wellness education, one episode at a time.
Are you ready?
To listen to inspirational stories of trust, respect, acceptance, integrity,
Love.
and social responsibility for multicultural families and special need communities?
Sit back and relax and be inspired by the awesome people that we highlight in the first segment of the podcast.
Welcome back to the Astro About Wellness podcast. This episode is co-sponsored by Hardi Kamsani and my dad, Azman Ripin. Thank you and may God bless you.
Hello. May peace be upon you.
You are listening to the 28th episode of the podcast with me, Syazana, and the Astro duo, Othfar and Azima.
It's a beautiful day in Boston, Lake NY. So it's kind of like the olden days. You get to see the trees. Minus there are no cars back then.
Oh, look. There's so many birds up here in the trees.
Hi, birdie.
It's a great Sunday to go for a walk.
Yeah. Why not? It's just very pretty, right?
Yeah, it is. It's always pretty to be close to nature.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful sunny day. Look.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Let's continue our wellness walk.
not that way. That was mine.
All right, this way then. Come. Let's go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Phew. We finally completely moved to our new house in Ballston Lake, New York. It's surrounded by trees and nature trails as well as parks nearby for wellness walks. We are so grateful because our kind-hearted neighbors made us feel so welcome. Two families came knocking on our door, welcoming us into the neighborhood with cookies and chocolate fudge.
Oh, wow.
This neighborhood is blessed with mutual trust, respect, acceptance, and we hope there's integrity, love, and social responsibility too. Alhamdulillah, praise and thanks to Almighty God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hey, we can also hear the sounds of jet planes flying in the air. Oh, we can also hear the choo-choo train passing by as we are not too far away from the railroad or railway tracks.
Do you know the latest news about Asfa in Singapore?
I sure do. Our co-host Alpha is no longer a recruit or a private at the Life Saving Force, the Singapore Civil Defence Force (SCDF). He was selected to be in the Section Commander course known as SCC, and he is now on track to become a junior sergeant. Aye, Sergeant. Yes, Sergeant. Woohoo, bravo. So proud of you, my teen superhero. May you continue to stay humble and achieve success, my boy. Here's a recording of Arthur and his food adventure dedicated to his one and only sister, you, Azima.
Hello Zima, today I'm at a Japanese restaurant in Westgate, Jurong East. Today I'm having spicy duck ramen, mixed tempura and chicken spicy ramen. Loves, heart and kisses.
Love hearts and kisses. Mwah.
Winter break, Christmas, and New Year's celebrations are coming soon. Here's wishing everyone a wonderful break and
happy
holidays! While enjoying the holidays, we invite you to support the Astro About Wellness podcast by shopping at our new online shop. Check out Astro Velo Shop, apparel for women and kids in America at https://astrovelo, ASTRIOWELLO.shop, SHOP.social, SOCIAL. We hope you'll be able to find something pretty and beautiful as a gift for yourself or your loved ones. Free shipping for delivery in the U.S.A. for any orders above $59. Products are currently selling at special pre-launch prices, so don't miss this chance.
Stay tuned to the next episode.
And listen to stories of trust, respect, acceptance, integrity, love, and social responsibility.
Coming up next,
In the second segment of the podcast, we'll learn about productivity and the 9 dimensions of wellness: physical, emotional, environmental, spiritual, social, intellectual, mental, occupational, and financial wellness.
So we can survive and thrive in this unpredictable world.
now it's time to welcome our special guest, author and publisher Hidayah Amin.
Welcome to the show again, Hidayah.
Welcome back to the Astro About Wellness podcast.
Thank you.
In the last episode, Hidayah had talked about the importance of social responsibility and why she published the book The Cure, written by 9-year-old author Nuha. In this episode, we want to know more about other books published by Helang Books. Now, let's rock and roll with a question for Hidayah. Azima?
Can you tell us more about the non-fiction books that you have published, Hidayah?
I became an author entrepreneur partly because of situation and also a lot of causes like the mango tree was in a way to heal myself. A lot of came about because of causes. In fact, the next book after the mango tree came out from a racist remark on Facebook. The title is Malay Weddings Don't Cost $50 and Other Facts About Malay Culture. So then later on, I realized a lot of my books came out of situations and causes. And it is more meaningful that way because we don't just do books for the sake of doing books. We do books to educate, to correct perceptions, to give the voice to the voiceless and all that. Yeah, that's the journey of Helang Books and of myself as an author entrepreneur.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
I write and I publish non-fiction books. At the same time, I also write and publish children's books. So these two are very different in treatment, in seriousness, in a lot of things. It's like really at polar ends. Why do I write non-fiction? I started out with Gedung Kuning.
Oh yeah, I remembered that you mentioned about your first non-fiction book, Gedung Kuning, in episode number 25 of the Astro About Wellness podcast.
Actually, creative non-fiction. It is a real story, but I wrote it in a children's book style. Maybe if I had gone on to the PhD, right, I would be an academician. My background is one who likes to do research, who likes to correct narratives, to give an alternative perspective. So if you look at some of the books that I've written, let's say the nonfiction, as of this year, I've published 8 titles. Gedung Kuning, Weddings Don't Cost $50. Kampung Tempe, Voices from Malay Village, and all for social justice, to have a voice included. And you know where Kampung Tempe is now is the most expensive area in Singapore. And if you read the book, you understand how some of the villagers were actually cheated out of selling their lands. I also wrote a Malay language book, Bahasa, a guide to Malay languages, where I compile all the Malay languages, including Tagalog, that's the Filipino language. And because Filipinos belong to the Austronesian family, which is part of the Malay, the Proto-Malay, and also Slita. Slita is the language of the Orang Laut or the Sea Nomad. So why I started this book? Because I started to rediscover and to embrace my Banja side of the family. Before this, I used to suppress my Banja bloodline. You know, I'm very proud Javanese. And I think the younger generation has forgotten, because I grew up in a household that spoke Malay only. And then, of course, I wrote about Kampung Gelam. Kampung is village. Gelam is the name of the Gelam tree. In fact, the so-called this urban village that I grew up in, it's a historic district. And to think there is a historic district in Singapore and there is no book written about it. So I decided to write. In fact, from the first book, Gedung Kuning is in Kampung Gelam. The building is still there, right? Kampung Gelam is a historic district. It's preserved, designated. And yet there is no book, nothing about Kampung Gelam. So I embarked on this researching on Kampung Gelam. Came out with 383-page book about Kampung Gelam called Leluhur, Singapore's Kampung Gelam. Leluhur is a Javanese word for ancestors, your roots, where you come from. And then, of course, last year, I came out with a book about kuih, or Malay dessert, Malay cakes.
Ooh, our family members love eating traditional Malay kuih. I've also tried making epok-epok, also known as curry puffs, apam balik, or crepes with peanuts or sweet corn, nagasari, or steamed bananas. I hope I'll remember to purchase your book when I visit Singapore again. It's exciting to know that there are 120 recipes of traditional Malay kuih in your book.
This is part of the Malay Heritage series. Again, why kuih? Why this book about kuih? Basically about the stories, the name of the kuih, the history of the kuih. I have 120 kuih that I wrote. There are still more kuih, but I couldn't take it anymore. 120 is a lot. So I said, that's it. I just stop at 120, okay?
Okay. So, what actually motivated you to write this book, which is dedicated to traditional Malay kuih?
If you know about Singapore, there are people who claim our Malay food to be theirs. So I'm just sick and tired of people saying that, oh, this is our food. Even the naming is wrong, the pronunciation, to make it appear non-Malay. So I've decided that, you know what? I'm just going to write a book about it. So again, you can see, right?
Yeah.
Yep, certainly.
The titles of my books are quite provocative. But hey, the best way to educate is to spread knowledge, right? So the next book is about the Singapore last Malay schools. I was in secondary school. These schools no longer existed. One of the former principal of the school actually came and asked me. I have done a book about a charity in Singapore. I traced this LBKM, the Lembaga Beasiswa Kenangan Maulud Prophet Muhammad's Memorial Scholarship Fund, which I wrote a book about it. I guess they were impressed and they asked whether I want to write this book. This is pre-COVID. I had to go to even Malaysia, Brunei to interview the students who used to be in the school. So this book is very much anticipated. In fact, I think it's very valuable. Despite the hardship that I went through, I'm very, very glad that it will come to fruition. These are the non-fiction books. I have a vested interest. I feel the importance and the need for this book to be written.
Thank you, Hidayah, for sharing the stories behind your published books. We love your passion to educate, regenerate, and elevate the community through book publishing, one book at a time. Also, one episode at a time on our podcast, Astro about Wellness.
Yeah, thank you, Hidayah. How about your children's books? I have read your book. My name is Mikhail. I have cerebral palsy. I want to know more about all your children's books in the next episode.
Yeah, in the next episode, Hidayah will talk more about her children's book, including books on and for special needs people. This is absolutely exciting because we love talking about what people are doing to build an inclusive world.
So, stay tuned to the next episode with Hidayah Amin. Woohoo!
We've now come to the end of the show today.
If you have enjoyed our show,
Like us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
At AstroWello, ASKTRIOWELLO.
send us your feedback.
To Syazana@astrowello.com. Visit our website at astrowello.com and subscribe to
Astro About Wellness Podcast.
Woohoo!